Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Smith's Kitchen. I'm Mr. Smith, Brian. You can call me Brian, really. Mr. Smith's so informal, or so formal. I'm not really that formal. And this is my kitchen. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Glad you're here. If you're returning to my channel, thank you. It means you're getting something out of it, even if it's just to look at some old guy ramble for a while, or hey, learn how to make a really good dish. Quick synopsis. Tuesdays, I rant and rave or talk, about anything and everything. Yesterday's video was, I got a little heated, which I won't apologize for. That seriously concerns me about the fact we have hungry children in the U.S. and we have other countries raising money to help them. But anyhow, tonight, we're going to essentially celebrate the fact I got my new oven. Which you'll see it here in a second. It doesn't look a whole lot different than my old oven. It still has the oven portion and the range on top. Nothing changed. I mean, other than the fact this one's brand new and it works. So, that being said, and if you're wondering what I did with the old one, it's currently in the basement. I'm going to fix it. Well, we may fix it together. And it'll go in the basement kitchen, after we get it, the electric ran and we can test it out and make sure it works good and I fixed it right. Life will be grand again. But anyhow, so tonight, to celebrate the new stove and oven, the oven and range we got, we're going to make a casserole. What a better way to make sure things are running right than to use the oven by making a casserole. So I thought we would do a chicken enchilada casserole. It sounded really good. It's something different, something I've never made before, so that'll be fun. And before I forget, don't forget to hit the subscribe button that's down below to join our community. Hit the notification bell if you would like. Completely up to you if you want to know when my videos come out. If you get something out of my videos, they do, like I said previously, they come out 3 times a week. Tuesdays we talk, Wednesdays we cook, Thursdays we bake. We also do some canning, just some all around the house stuff. We do some gardening when it's in season. Just all kinds of stuff. Like I said in most of my videos, I'm documenting me. So yeah, chicken enchilada recipe. This recipe, for the most part, it comes from Paula Dean, and she has a YouTube channel also. And it was the one that kind of caught my eye the most. Now there are several good recipes out there. Views from the Road, Views from the Road has a couple. Those two girls are amazing, and they cook like there is nobody's business. I have made several of their recipes also. Paula Dean's recipes, not so much. I have never made one of her recipes before, so I thought we'd give it a shot. All right, so let's look and see what the ingredients are going to be. Oh, by the way, if you comment for me, if you want to throw in comments, great. Keep them polite. You can disagree with me. You can, have a difference of opinion or agree. Just keep it polite. Our community is very broad in age, backgrounds, ethnicities, and we try to promote a good atmosphere here, one that involves, loving your neighbor, things of that nature. So keep that in mind, please. All right, so anyhow, let me get the camera down to where you can go to the countertop, and that way we can go over the ingredients and start working on our meal. All right, this isn't a hard meal. The hardest part was getting the chicken, which we'll talk about that when we get to the chicken. All right, hold on one second. Let me get down here where we can see some things. There we are. There is that. And I may blind you for a second, and if I do, I'm sorry. Nope, that actually worked out very well. All right, I had to turn on a third light. It looked really dark, at least from my point of view. So, things we will need. First thing you will need is a casserole dish. 13 by 9 is your standard casserole dish. You're going to want to spray it with a vegetable oil or whatever you like to use. Or you can use butter, grease, whatever you have available. But you want to spray that. We'll just go ahead and get it set aside. In case you are new to my channel, this is literally my entire kitchen. You have now seen everything but the back door. So I'm going to go ahead and set this in the dining room, which is literally that way. Yeah, I have like the world's smallest kitchen, but that's okay. All right, so we got that greased, oiled, whatever you like to do with it. Next thing you'll need is a bowl. and an apparatus for stirring. Now, as far as ingredients go, here's where I vary from Paula. She used large tortilla shells and cut them into quarters. All right. She used flour tortilla shells. I'm using corn tortillas for a couple reasons. A, I need to use these up. B, I think this will work very well with a corn tortilla, and we like corn tortillas. So I'm going to use corn tortillas instead, but either way it goes. And I cut them in half, that way they're easier to fit in the pan. All right, the next thing we will need is 1 cup or 8 ounces of sour cream. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and put this in this bowl. You'll need a big mixing bowl and some apparatus to get your sour cream out with. It's 1 cup or 8 ounces. You can buy an 8-ounce container of sour cream, which you can do. Chris, bless her heart, if you don't know who Chris is, that's my wife, had gone to the grocery store to pick up sour cream and was in a hurry and grabbed this ginormous thing of sour cream. So let's use a measuring cup. Set that aside. Set that down. Which, oddly enough, we use a lot of sour cream, so, well, you know, it made no difference to us. It was actually more economical to buy that. The next thing you will need to put in with your sour cream is 1 10-ounce can, 10.5-ounce can of cream of chicken. Whoever's cream of chicken you like, you know, or you buy or you have available at your store. You know, this just happens to be the Great Value brand. I usually buy whatever's on sale or whatever's the cheapest. And then we will need 1 can of green chilies. Now the recipe calls for 4 ounces of green chilies. We like green chilies, so I'm using the 7-ounce can. It just, to me, in my mind, seemed better to do. And you don't want to drain them or anything like that. We're just going to dump them in there. Like such. Alright, so the next ingredients, we've got our 1 cup of sour cream in there. We've got our can of chicken soup in there, condensed cream of chicken. We got our can of chilies. Now we're going to add some cheese. It can be any cheese you like. She used a Mexican blend. I don't have a Mexican blend, but I did have some Colby Jack, and I topped it off with some pepper jack. And you're going to need 2 cups, but we're going to divide it. Okay, so we really only need a cup to start. So I'm going to take half of this, and I'm going to put it in here. All right. So, and it doesn't have to be exactly 1/2, but, you know, either way. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take the other half of it, and we're going to sprinkle it on the top of our casserole. So either way is good. So I got 1 cup of cheese in there, shredded cheese. We shred our own. That way I don't have to... When you buy store-bought shredded cheese, it comes with a food-grade preservative on it. It's like a silicone spray, but it's food-grade. I mean, it's not going to kill you, but I find that weird. So we just buy block cheese, and then that way it doesn't have that. The food-grade silicone they spray on it so the shreds don't clump back together, because you notice if you shred your own, it clumps, or it wants to try to get back together. I don't want that. So, anyhow, choice is yours. You get what you can afford and what you like. So we got our 1 cup of cheese in there. Now we're going to do a 1/2 cup of onion. All right, and I got just diced onion. She used a green onion, but regular onion is still just as good. We're going to put about a 1/2 cup in there. I will throw the rest of that in a container, and we can use that for another dish. Excuse me. I have allergies are kind of kicking my butt, but that's all right. All right, so now we need something to liven it up with. So we're gonna do a teaspoon of salt. We're gonna do a teaspoon of pepper. Now these are the teaspoons are guidelines. I mean, that's what her original recipe called for, so that's what I'm doing. But you may want more salt the next time you make it, or this time you may, adjust it for your needs. That's the beauty of spices, is you can adjust them for you. It takes 1 teaspoon of cumin. And then I am going to add, this is not on on the recipe list, but it's going to be on our recipe list, and that is 1 teaspoon of Mexican oregano. Now, if you buy Mexican oregano, to wake it up, to get the full spices out of it, like in this case, I have a teaspoon. I'm going to put it in my hand, and I'm going to crush it a little bit. What that does is it wakens it up. It brings it to life. And believe you me, there is a difference. I've done it both ways. I've forgotten to crush it, and it's not nearly as flavorful, as it would be, and the aroma is amazing. Than it would be if you did crush it up. See, that gives it its full potential and usage. Now, Mexican oregano is completely different from regular oregano, Italian oregano. It has a different flavor to it. It is very powerful, so you don't want to use a whole lot of it. A little goes a long way. So I got we got our teaspoon of salt, cumin, pepper. I added a teaspoon of Mexican oregano to it. So now all we have to do is mix this together. And as a matter of fact, instead of dirtying up that spoon, I'll just mix this together. So we spent the day outside working on the garage all day, and got a good chunk of it organized. If you saw my video yesterday, I was out in the garage for a few hours, and I got a fair amount accomplished out there yesterday, but not nearly like we did today. I will almost dare to say that within a week, I will have a fully operational garage, which will be nice. All right, so we got this mixed up, ready to go. Let me get my 1 cup measuring cup cleaned up here, because we're going to reuse it. All right, got that in good shape. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a cup of this mix, about a cup, maybe a little more, a little less, but about a cup. I mean, it's a 1 cup measuring cup, so it'll probably be 1 cup. And we're gonna put some of this aside, okay? And I'll show you why here in a minute. Now, only because I forgot, you want to set your oven at 350. And there's a start on here. There it is. This one sings to you. It's really kind of cool. So we got that set aside. Now we need to add in 3 cups of chicken. Okay, now, let's say, because this really is a really easy dish to make, but let's say it's a weeknight, you don't really have time to, sit here and boil chicken or bake chicken or fry chicken up, let it cool and shred it. All right, which is, I just boiled this till it was done, and then I shredded it. And obviously I didn't do a completely amazing job, but I didn't do bad. Now, if you do it that way, I have dark meat and light meat in here, both. There's thighs and breasts both in here. You want the dark meat, the thighs, the drums, all that. You want to incorporate that just because that's a lot of flavor. The breast meat is good, but it doesn't usually have a lot of flavor, so to speak. But let's say you don't have time to do all that. You could easily swing by the store on your way home and pick up a rotisserie chicken and do this exact same thing. By the time you get home, it's cool enough that you can just shred it all, and you're going to need about 3.5, 4 cups of chicken. And then you just dump that in there, 3.5, 4 cups of shredded chicken, and we're going to mix this up. Ooh. And hopefully not drop any on the floor. I have a beagle sitting right outside the kitchen here just waiting on me to drop some more chicken and make her day a little better. Yeah, which is okay. I mean, that's, she's a great cleanup dog when it comes to the kitchen. Some people would say that's being a good helper, but I just say it's cleanup. Dogs are great at doing dishes if you just let them, You know, let them set the plate on the floor. They'll lick that bad boy clean. You can put it right back in the counter. It'll save you, or cabinet. It'll save you a ton of time on dishes and soap. I'm just playing. Never let your dogs, you know, I mean, it's okay to let your dogs clean the plate, but make sure you wash them. All right, so we got that together. I know it looks good. It absolutely looks like the most amazing chicken salad I have ever seen. But we're not done yet. I am going to try it, though, just for giggles. Ooh, that's really good. That would really be good. Put some celery in there, you'd have an amazing chicken salad. That almost makes me want to stop right there. But we're not going to. We got to keep moving on. So, we've got our filling done. We've got our shells cut. We've got, yeah, we're in good shape. Let me go back and grab my 13x9 baking sheet real quick, or baking dish. That we sprayed down with vegetable oil earlier. Now we're going to take our corn tortillas and we're just going to layer them in here, first layer. And like I said, you can use floured ones also. Not a big deal. And you want to cover the bottom. The reason why you use the spray on this is because you don't want your tortillas to stick. Tortillas, especially if you're using flour ones. Flour tortillas have a tendency to want to stick, and that's never fun. So we'll get those on there like such. And it's okay if they overlap. Not a big deal. I'm sure somebody out there would be like, oh, Brian, you can't do that. Sure you can. I mean, why not? I don't think it would hurt anything. We've made taco casseroles with shells in them, and they've been fine. All right, so now we're going to take our chicken. We're going to put this in here, like such, and you're going to use about half of it, you know, because you're going to do 2 layers of the chicken. I mean, if you don't get it precise, it's okay. You know, you just have one layer that's thicker than the other, but it's all going to eat, I promise. It's not going to affect its baking or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and get this put out like such. Man, I'm telling you, this really was good all by itself. Yeah, I mean, the only reason why we're sticking it in the oven really is because everything here is cooked or edible cold. Is just to melt the cheese that we're going to put on top, basically. Let all these, well, I mean, it'll allow everything time to get to know each other also. I shouldn't say the only reason why we're putting it in there is to melt the cheese. The important thing about, when it comes to casseroles, you put them in the oven, even if everything's cooked, it's because the same reason like with soups. You do it so that way that everything has time to get to know each other. You know, all those flavors melt together and, you know, give you a really good flavor. All right. And I just noticed out of the corner of my eye that the oven, I've got it preheating, right? Every oven I've ever had just says preheating. And that's all. This is actually showing me the temperature as it goes up, so I know exactly where it is. That's pretty awesome. It also has a bread proofing feature, so I can proof my bread dough in it. I mean, not that I ever make bread, but if I may start now, I mean, that's kind of cool just to see if it works. Yeah, it's like anything else. You get a new toy, you want to play with it, maximize it. So we're doing another layer of the tortilla shells. Just like such. And this dish would be good because, like I said, our tortilla shells, we've had these corn shells for not a real long time. I mean, obviously they're not falling apart. Corn shells usually start to just, they get hard and completely fall apart on you. If you're not careful, if you don't use them up. All right, so we got that on there. Now we're doing our second layer, which is our final layer of the chicken mix. I mean, I suppose you could go higher if you wanted to, but you would have to make more chicken mix or run it thin. I would much rather have 2 thick layers of chicken mix than like 3 or 4 little layers. Plus, I think 2's plenty. We'll get this all covered up here. When you see how fast this is going together, I think I spent more time talking to you in the beginning than we actually have making this. It really only takes about 10-15 minutes to put together. You know, it's not hard, and if eating the cold product was any indication of how this is going to turn out, man, we are going to be just in flavor town all the way around. I know that was a very dad statement, but it's true. It just had so much flavor to it. Get this spread out here. We're going to try not to have any gaps or holes, but it's okay if you do. I mean, it really is. I mean, what it's going to come down to is, even if I have gaps and holes here, it's going to be covered by tortilla shells. So it's all right. All right, so we got that there. Now, one more layer of tortilla shells, you know, of your choosing, whether it be corn or flour. Hey, we used almost all of them up. That's pretty cool. All right, got that going. We are there. Now, the last thing we have to do, remember the cream sauce we reserved? We're going to put that on there. I mean, and a lot of times, if you're new to my channel, when we make recipes, dinner recipes and baking recipes on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I try to do something that's brand new to us. And I almost always follow the recipe verbatim. But this go around, I didn't. And that's okay, because when you do yours, you know, it's okay if you change it up to suit you. I know there's certain things that, like, Abby will eat that, you know, or won't eat that might be in something, and, you know, I'll play with it a little and make it, you know, I'll think to myself, okay, what can I put in this, you know, that will make it, you know, not so much our own recipe, you know, and I always give credit to anybody, you know, wherever I get the recipe from, because I want you guys to know. I mean, what if you just decide you don't like me one day and you want to revisit a recipe we made a year ago? Well, you'll be able to know where it came from. I also try to write down on my recipe book. Yeah, and if you are new, sorry, my oven likes to sing. But I think it is letting me know that it is ready to rock and roll. All right, so we got the cream on there. But if you are new to my channel, I write every recipe down in my notebook. Okay, this is Dad's dinner book, dinner recipes. And if we like it, I leave it alone. If I don't like it, I just tear it out and throw it in the trash, and we never make it again. But so far, I have yet to find a recipe, whether it be for baking or dinner, that we hated. All right, so we got that on there. We're going to sprinkle the rest of this cheese on here. The other cup of cheese. Just like such. Ooh, that looks beautiful. And then in her recipe, the original recipe, it called to have the green part of green onions cut up and sprinkled on the top of this. Well, I don't have any green onions. I didn't go to the store today. I've been busy unpacking the last edition of our house, which is the garage. But I knew I had these peppers that my mother-in-law brought over, and the green onions you're just putting on for color and garnish. So I thought, Well, these aren't horribly hot peppers. They're a flavorful, milder pepper, and it'll give it some color. See, color. So we'll go ahead and put these on instead. So we got, and it's about a half a cup. Is what I do believe it's even what it called for the green onions. No, it just says green onions for garnish. But I put about a half a cup of peppers on there. You might want a third to a half a cup of green onions. It's completely up to you. You're the one that's eating it. You and your family, or just you and your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Just you and your husband or wife. So we've got that done. That's it. That is how we make this entire casserole. Let me bring you back up here so I can see your smiling face. Wow, you really do look good today. And I say that, I mean it honestly. You look like you haven't even had a hard day, really. I mean, you look that good. You look refreshed. So, what do we do next? Do what? I just got told that I was kind of special. That wasn't the exact words she used, but those are the words we're allowed to use due to censorship laws. So what are we going to do next? Like I said, we got our oven at 350. You know it's at 350. I know it's at 350 for a couple reasons. One, the alarm went off. Two, if I look down in here in my oven, I have a thermometer down there. And guess what it says? What do you think? What do you think it says? It says it's 350 degrees, which is awesome. That means everything's functioning properly. So now we're going to put this in the oven. I'm going to let it go for 30 minutes. When I get back, we'll talk about what to do next. And then when I come back from that, we're going to try some. All right, I'll see you here. All right, so we've been 30 minutes. And we're going to turn the oven off and pull our casserole out of the oven. Let me turn you back around here so you can see what we got going on. There we go. All right. I know it smells fantastic. Oh, it smells just like enchiladas, actually. With a white sauce. All right, there we are. That looks awesome. There is our chicken enchilada casserole. So, what are we going to do next? We're going to let that sit for about 5-10 minutes just to settle down. Right now, I can hear it. It's sizzling, it's bubbling, it's making lots of ruckus. So we're going to let it calm down. We're like, hey, calm down. But like most things that are angry and bubbling and sizzling, it's going to take about 5 minutes or so. So we're going to let this sit for 5 minutes, and then after that, we will give it a taste. All right, be right back. Okay, so we let it sit for about 7 minutes. Now we're going to give her a taste and see how she turned out. Like I said, it looks good. It smells good, which means we're 2/3 of the way there. Now we just got to check it for its flavor profile. Huh. Yep. It's a little warm. Give it that. It's not horrible, though. Oh, just look at my fingers. That tastes good. So, here's what we look like plated. I think it looks fantastic. It tastes good. Well, at least what I licked off my fingers did. So, the peppers that I thought were mild that were given to me by my mother-in-law, I believe are Hatch chilies, which are milder than jalapenos, I'll admit. But they had a little more of a kick to them than I thought they did, or they would. So it kind of caught me off guard, especially when I rubbed my eyes, even after washing my hands because I did dishes. But anyhow, that being said, let's see how she tastes. That's the important thing. We got looks, we got smells. Let's try taste. Yeah. I think maybe a little more salt or pepper Well, a little more salt. Maybe not pepper. A little more salt. So I'll just throw a dash on it when we eat. And we got a good meal. This is really good. Just really good. I'm gonna recommend this one. You know, I mean, I didn't follow her recipe to a T, but I wasn't real far off of it. And you can taste that Mexican oregano along with everything else, and it's hands down my favorite spice. Hands down. It took me forever to find it. I actually had to order it online because nobody around here carries it. But, well worth it. I highly recommend you get some. But you can still taste all the other. You can taste the cumin. You're going to get the peppers. You can taste the green chilies. And, I mean, just everything that's in there. So, we're serving this tonight with just some corn on the side, you know, and maybe a little bit of bread, only because I'm out of tortilla shells, which is okay. You could also do this with a salad, you know, or some refried beans and some rice. Yeah, there's a million and one side dishes you could put with this. I think you could have this with French fries or tater tots and it would taste amazing. So, that being said, I'm going to get this to the table. We're going to add it with the corn we're having. And have some quality time with the family. Try this. I recommend it. It baked well in the new oven. Thumb way up. And it's got good flavor. I mean, real good flavor. And lots of it. And you could... It's a good enough dish that you could add to it, take away from it. You know, if there's certain spices you like in it, you could probably even put in a teaspoon of taco seasoning, because taco seasoning goes with every meat. It's not just made for hamburger. Or if you have a favorite enchilada seasoning, you know, rock on. Use that. But I liked it just the way it is. Yeah, I think we're going to keep this one in the book. For sure. So, that being said, if you try it, let me know. If you like it, let me know. If you didn't like it, let me know. Let's have a conversation about it. Like I said, love comments. You know, love that human interaction, especially in our community. So, tomorrow, we're going to bake something. I still haven't figured it out yet, but we're going to bake something. There's so many things I'm leaning towards. I'm trying to stay away from pies, just because I'm about to bake a bunch of pies next week. It's Thanksgiving, in case you didn't know, in case you hadn't heard. Which I have my own opinions on that too. But for all intents and purposes, we'll call it Thanksgiving. And so, you know, and then for next week, I know next week I'm doing, Chris would like a pumpkin roll. I got a request or two for apple pie. I like pecan pie, so I'm going to do one of those. And I think that's it for pies for that. But, so tomorrow we'll probably do a cookie or a cake. I just haven't decided which yet. I would really like to revisit the muffins I made with the spice cake recipe, the morning muffins with the apples. Just to see how they bake up in this oven. But we've already done those. And like I said, those turned out fine. That was a couple, 2-3 weeks ago. They turned out good. They just weren't as baked as I'd like them to be, much like the pumpkin cookies. But that being said, we'll find something to get into tomorrow. I promise. I'll ask around, see what people want. And we'll take it from there. So until tomorrow when we bake, I love you. I love you very much. Tell somebody else you love them and you love them very much. It's going to make their day a whole lot better. And like I said in yesterday's video at the end, make somebody a casserole. Take it to them. Make sure they're not going hungry and everything's okay. It's all part of being a good neighbor. All right. Till tomorrow when we bake something, cookies, cake, haven't decided yet. I love you. I will talk to you later. Bye.